And with me now is international trade lawyer John Boscariol. Thanks, John, for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. Great to be with you, Roger.
What can we expect from these meetings with Mexico?
I think there's really three things we're watching for in these meetings between Prime Minister Carney and President Sheinbaum. First, I expect we're going to see them compare notes on the current negotiations each are going through with the Trump administration. Both Mexico and Canada have taken different approaches to dealing with the U.S. tariffs. So you'll recall that Canada is the only country to have retaliated against the United States other than China. Mexico chose not to retaliate against the United States. Canada repealed many of those retaliatory duties a couple of weeks ago, but we still have some of those in place with respect to aluminum, steel, and automotive products. Mexico has indicated it's going to be increasing duties on automotive products from other countries, particularly China and Asia, in the coming weeks. Canada, on the other hand, is considering removing its duties on electric vehicles from China, the 100% duties. So they are taking different approaches, and I would expect they are going to compare those notes. Secondly, I do think they're probably going to be discussing opportunities for taking a united front on certain issues with respect to the renegotiation of CUSMA starting in 2026. The U.S. starts its review in October. The administration has to report to the Congress in January of 2026. And I expect there will be some issues that Canada and the United States can align on, including Trump's attempt to strengthen the rules of origin, particularly on automotive. There'll be other areas as well. And then thirdly, I think there's the opportunity to improve trade and investment between the two countries. We've had NAFTA in place since 1994. We've had the structure in place that allows for free trade between Canada and Mexico and improved investments. Those have improved since 1994, but I think there's a lot of room for more improvement in that area.
Why, on that last part, why have they not done anything about that? Why not try something like this earlier?
Well, I think they're really being forced into it now. The United States is the most proximate market for us here in Canada. It's very easy for Canadian exporters and investors to deal with the United States. We're very closely linked to the United States. It's still 80% of our goods trade. And so, and we have the same language. And so I do think Canadian companies have not really been forced to look at other markets until the Trump tariff threat of this year. And now they're really being forced to look at that. And I think the Canadian and Mexican governments are recognizing that and trying to think of ways in which they can facilitate that trade and investment in both directions.
Okay, John, thanks as always for your insight. Appreciated.
Thank you, Roger.
John Boscariol, lawyer and co-head of International Trade and Investment Law Group.